So, lads, Juju Watkins and USC played their first game in the Big Ten tournament and they survived. That's the only way I can say this. They survived. There's about 30 seconds to go. Indiana decided to miss 9 of their last 10 shots. And that was the big difference in the game. It was a game that, I'm telling you, could have gone either way. Could have really gone either way. Like, if Stripling could make a layup for Indiana, but I do have to say, Kiki Iriafen was super. Juju had a decent game. She had a much worse game than her stats would suggest. Because, like, again, 10 of 19 in the field, she actually shot pretty well. And I do have to give Juju credit. Like, she hit a dagger. She hit the dagger. But to start off the game, early on, Juju was playing very well. And it was kind of close. Indiana were like, was it Stripling that had the 7-0? Somebody, or was it Parrish? Someone had a 7-0 individual, like, start for Indiana. And Indiana, like, struggled early-ish. In the second quarter, Indiana were the better team. Indiana were the better team going into the fourth quarter in this game. They just weren't finishing. They were more aggressive. USC were in foul trouble. Because in fairness, one thing I will say with USC, they were fouling hard. USC were fouling hard. But without Rhea Marshall, who was sick, their defense is not the same. Like, depending on how ill Rhea Marshall is, I don't know. Do they win the Big Ten tournament without Rhea Marshall? Because I thought Kiki Iriafen had one of the better defensive games I've seen her play. She did a good job stopping him inside. They did foul a lot. But when you lose Rhea Marshall, like, it's going to be quite tough. But this USC team did not look convincing at all. And now USC, they're down, or Indiana are down 8 and they're just hacking to prolong the game, which is why I'm making this video. But Garzon going with, I think, 5 of her 7 threes, like, she was keeping them in. She kept them in the game. And Indiana were hitting a lot of shots. Indiana from the free throw line were exceptional as well. Again, they earned almost all these free throws. They were getting hacked. But they missed important ones. They did very much miss important ones. And oh my God, I'm watching USC just miss from the free throw line. They missed 4 free throws in a row. And Stripling for 3. Oh my God. Oh my God. I did not think that was going to happen. And who did they put on the line here? I don't think it's Juju. But in the game, Juju Watkins, I felt a lot of it was like she had a good early start. And it's like, she did a good job of any time. She stopped quite a few runs, which were good. But the Juju whistle is crazy. Like, Juju, it's the type of stuff. And you know what? I will say, like, a lot of it is smart fouling. But, like, every single time she kind of goes by somebody, she jumps sideways into that mid-range shot. She makes a couple of them, but she jumps sideways, which is, I don't know. I don't like that call being called as a defensive foul when the defender is just standing there and an offensive player jumps sideways into a jump shot and it doesn't affect Juju's shot, which is what she's exceptional at. And to be fair, as long as the refs are going to keep calling it, you keep doing it, which she's really good at. And in transition, Juju Watkins was unstoppable. But down the stretch, Juju, I thought through the fourth quarter, up until a point, she'd kind of had a very, as much as she did score, whatever it was, 15 points in the second half, I thought she had a really quiet second half, but I did feel like she made 2 really good plays in the fourth quarter. One where she pushed the floor in transition, and I think a couple of possessions earlier, she'd gone head down in transition and committed a charge. They were waiting for it. She went in transition, the whole defense collapsed in on her. I think they were waiting to try get her 5th foul. Or was it her 4th foul? And what they ended up doing was, after that, they managed to, like, they collapsed in, and Juju managed to make the pass. And that's one of the things I will say with Juju Watkins is she went and did a really, really good job of drawing, making the pass, kicking to, I think it was Howell that she kicked to, who nailed a 3-point shot. And that gave them, I think that might have given them a little bit, was it a 4-point lead maybe? I think they were up 1 and it gave them a 4-point lead. And then late on in the game, they're up 6. Juju Watkins' early shot clock Probably an ill-advised shot, in fairness. An early shot clock. Bang. And it's like, okay. Okay, fair play. That is exactly what that's exactly what was needed. That was a dagger shot. But this was a scare. This well and truly was a scare. Like, obviously, free throw missed. They're on the line right now. Like, this is obviously ESPN's a few seconds ahead of where I'm at right now. And game over. But this was a big scare for USC. Women's college basketball is wide open. Like, Vanderbilt, I know South Carolina beat Vanderbilt well in the end. But, like, Vanderbilt gave them a bit of a scare coming into that fourth quarter. I think Iowa beaten USC, and Iowa might go and give teams a scare as well. And there's a lot of these, like, maybe unranked or low-ranked teams that could give top teams a scare, because South Carolina aren't as good as last year, and they still might be the favorites to win it all. UConn are nothing special. This is not one of the great UConn teams. UConn could win it. And it's a real tough one. It's a real tough one. All in all, like, again, a 4-point win. A 4-point win right here, and nothing can be done. Okay, they're on the line. Maybe it'll be a 6-point win. They're on the line with like a half a second to go. But this is a real scare. Like, Indiana aren't great. They're really not great. And USC's defense, without Rhea Marshall, it doesn't look great. But I do have to say, Kennedy Smith, when it mattered, she didn't hit the free throws. When it mattered, she hit shots. Howell hit big shots down the stretch. Van Olhoffen hit a huge 3 in the fourth quarter. And in fairness to Juju, like, the way she can manipulate a defense and get to the line is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Again, like, whatever about her game, I'm just putting this out there right now. There is nobody that watches a full game of Juju Watkins and wonders why, like, the hype is not the same versus Caitlin Clark at this point in time. Like, Juju's game is very reliant on getting to that free throw line, which is really effective, really good basketball. But we've seen that with a James Harden back in the day, that, like, it's not the prettiest basketball to watch. Either way, though, I gotta say, fair play. They came up clutch. And first round of the tournament against Indiana, it's not an easy game to win. And did Indiana have to go back to back to back? I need to check that. I don't think Indiana had to go play 3 straight. No. Did they? No, Indiana just had to beat Oregon. So they didn't have to go and play 3 straight to face off against USC. So they were on a back-to-back. But it's not going to be easy for USC. Like, Maryland is not going to be easy, or Michigan, or whoever they're up against. Like, they're not easy games. Did Michigan win? I think Michigan won. Either way, like, Michigan, Maryland, whoever wins that game, like, it's not going to be easy. Maryland are a good team, with Cheyenne Sellers being able to do a good job on Juju Watkins. And, like, I thought Kiki, from just watching the game, like, I didn't watch the game looking at the box score. From watching the game, Kiki Riefan was the best player on USC. USC went down, I think, 4. Did they maybe go down 4 points? Kiki Riefan's mid-range game, like, she had a not great first half. The third quarter, Kiki Riefan, like, really kept him in that game. And in fairness to Juju's game really is like death by 1,000 cuts. Like, you watch her play, like, if there's no scoreboard, you're not watching the box score. If you're not seeing these things flash up, and you asked me to guess how many points Juju had, I would have said 22. And she comes out with 31, and that 31, all 31 of those were needed for the win. So, yeah, it's a solid game for her. I thought she had a good first half. I did not think Juju Watkins had a good second half. I'm going to be, like, we got to be honest here. She turned the ball over a lot. Like, 6 assists, 6 turnovers to 2 assists isn't ideal. But again, first game of the tournament, a win is a win. And if you're USC, you're hoping that that's kind of like shaking the cobwebs off. before you go out there and play against a much tougher matchup than Indiana in the next round. Because if USC play like that against Maryland or even Michigan, to be honest, I don't. More so Maryland. I think Maryland win, especially if Rhea Marshall's still sick. But anyway, I'll see you guys.